Welcome, baseball fans, to Week 2 of Major League Baseball Power Rankings, brought to you by State of MLB. Let the debate begin. And this week, we have had COVID wreak havoc on league with multiple teams, not several, but a few teams impacted by having games postponed. Therefore, if they don't play the games, they don't get to rank. And despite the fact the Marlins did not play, nor the Philadelphia Phillies play a single game the entire week, they actually do not fall to the bottom. That glorious attribute goes to the St. Louis Cardinals, with whom, before their Milwaukee game got postponed, they got their butts whooped by Minnesota, dropping 2 games. And therefore, instead of having an absolute 0 record on this week, they're 0-2 on this week. And given the fact that the Philadelphia Marlins and the Miami Marlins and Philadelphia Phillies, neither one of them played any games, they didn't have the opportunity to rise in the power rankings, and because last weekend they played each other and the Marlins took 2 out of 3, they had a slight edge there. Now, coming in at number 27, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're going 1-5 this week, and then Arizona, number 26, going 2-5. Then the Boston Red Sox, they're splitting 2 with the Mets. They're getting swept by the Yankees, as well as the Mets splitting against Boston and doing slightly better on run differential than the Boston Red Sox, as they got swept by Atlanta, rounds out some of our bottom feeders for this week alone. Really starts to take into shape here who the teams are who are just left wanting. Can they turn around? Sure. But getting off to a fast start in a shortened season is critical, and these teams have not done it. Coming in at 23, the Kansas City Royals, after splitting 2-2 against Detroit and then getting swept by Chicago, followed by the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Angels. Okay. Also, not having great weeks, going 2-5. Angels having a rough time, going 1-2 against Seattle and 1-2 against Houston. I had higher hopes for them with Madden, Rendon, Trout. Well, Trout's out because of his paternity leave, as you saw from the news of the week, so congratulations to him on that. However, the Rays, whom struggled against the Baltimore Orioles, with whom came into the season not so hot, and they got swept by the Yankees, ended up sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays. So, even though the Rays went 2-5, and the LA Angels went 2-5, comes out of running differential, the Angels had the edge there. So there's our bottom third of the league. Now we get into things that are a lot more interesting, a little more contentious, and we start getting into some of the areas of debate here. Coming in at number 20, the Texas Rangers. After going 1-1 with Arizona and 1-2 against San Francisco, run out the middle round. Start off the middle round here. Coming in at number 19, the Houston Astros had to have quite a disappointing week, getting swept by the Dodgers, rebounding against the LA Angels, but still leaves them, given the fact they had that Monday game, a 3-3 week. It's just, they had a rough week. Can they rebound and come back up? Sure, but because it's based upon how they did this week, they're really right in the middle, being 3-3. Coming at 18, your Washington Nationals, with whom, interestingly enough, they got their weekend series to postpone, but after going 2-2 against Toronto, get a nice little even record along with Toronto, both having 2-2 records in the middle of the week, losing the weekend series, but run differential gives the edge to the Toronto Blue Jays, so congratulations to them on edging out the World Series championships for the slight edge in power rankings for Week 2. Coming in at number 16, your Milwaukee Brewers, with whom also lost the weekend series because of the COVID with the St. Louis Cardinals, but had a hair better performance because instead of splitting in the middle of the season, they only played 3 games against Pittsburgh and won 2 out of 3. Way to go. Way to take advantage of that schedule for you. Granted, all these postponed games have to get replayed, which could make next week or future weeks particularly heavy for some teams, and then they get to shine or fall, depending on how good they really are. Coming in at 15, a little bit of a surprise to me is, granted the first weekend, not too much there. There's 3 games to go based upon. But then they only go 3-4. Plus with the run differential in there, they're showing better than I thought they would. I really kind of thought they would be in the bottom row for the most of the year. And they just haven't shown it this week. They're right in the middle of the pack. They're not impressing me, but they're also not disappointing me either. In 14, the Cleveland Indians, with whom had a really good year last year, just fell short at the end of getting to the playoffs. Also follows suit with Detroit, going 3-4, but run differential gives them the edge. Congratulations. They have to find themselves. If they want to compete in their Central Division with the Minnesota Twins, and I want to say Chicago, because they did have a good week this week, and they haven't shown up yet on the board. Chicago had a abysmal year last year, and they reloaded the offseason. I'm waiting to see if they make good on that potential. And so, as my sleeper team, I'm counting Minnesota and Chicago as teams that Cleveland's going to have to contend with. And putting up a 3-4 week is not going to do it. Coming in at 13, the Seattle Mariners. Surprise, surprise, Seattle actually not doing horribly. Like these teams, they're 3-4, but run differential give them the edge. Let's see if they can hold it. It's theirs to lose. They're in the middle of the pack. We'll see what happens. Coming in at number 12, the Oakland Athletics, with whom I find it very interesting a storyline here that these Yoenis Cespedes of the Mets just up and left, said I opt out, didn't tell anybody, just vacated his room and gone. And the funny thing about him is the fact that the only team he ever actually played well for were the Oakland Athletics. Granted, they kind of babied him and gave him whatever he wanted to make him play, but he was the only team that he ever actually was good for. So, but at the same time, unlike these teams who were 3-4, they weren't even 500 at 3-3. So they get to come near the top of the middle round here, and they do have a stronger team and they have performed. Maybe in 2 weeks they'll shine. We'll see. But for getting started at 3-3, it doesn't separate yourself, but it also doesn't kill you either. So it's right in the middle of the pack, and the playoffs are expanded to 16 teams. So they're still in it here. They're just not getting off to the hot start that they would have really helped them. Coming in at number 11. And running at the bottom 20 is the San Francisco Giants, like Oakland, also going 3-3. Run differential gives them the edge. Coming in at number 11. So at this point in time, we've now seen all the teams that have either had average weeks being 500 or below, or outright didn't even play. There's our bottom 20. And for those of you who are fans of any one of these teams, it's so early in the week. We've played all of 1 week plus a weekend. And not even that in some cases, considering the fact that these 3 teams didn't even play that much. It's still very early. Granted, shortened season, early is subjective. I get it. However, you've played less than a dozen games in a 60-game season. We're not even a fourth of the way through. A lot of these teams are very tight-knit right now. It's going to happen. They'll separate themselves. It's the matter of the teams that get off to the hot start. Your top 10 are setting a standard. These are the teams that are trying to contend, are trying to separate themselves from the pack. These teams are either trying to find themselves or got off to a rough start. How much does it matter this early on? Not a whole lot, but it does make it fun for debate and fanfare. So coming in at number 10, and I love the top 10. It shows you who your strongest teams are, and I reworked my algorithms on my tiebreakers because last year I had an actual playoff team end up out of the top 10 and somebody who didn't make the playoffs in the top 10, and that's no good. You can't have that. These are your best teams in baseball. Coming in at number 10 for week 2, your Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati, who went 3-3 and edged out the Giants in Oakland for running differential, still get an honorable mark in your top 10. Because granted, it's early in the year, and there's been less than 10 games. So it's not surprising you're to have a 500 team in the top 10, but they've shown enough potential with run differential to be able to get into that Elite 10. Coming in at number 9, a surprise to me was the fact that they swept Tampa Bay. Granted, it was home game, but this actually got swept by the Yankees. So they end up having a 3-2 week. Their sweep against Tampa really considering the fact that you're going to play 40 of your 60 games against your division, being able to play those divisional games is huge. I do not expect Baltimore to catch New York. However, they don't have to get to the playoffs. You take care of the rest of your division. You beat your Tampa Bay, you beat your Toronto Blue Jays, and your Boston Red Sox. You can still get a wild card. You can still get in the top 16. And once you're in the playoffs, the season doesn't matter anymore. Therefore, it doesn't matter if they lost. They got swept by New York. It's only 2 games. You just swept the Tampa Bay Rays. And those were a team that was projected to be a playoff contender. That deserves a way to go, Baltimore. You went from the absolute gutter of the league last year to now you're number 9, only 2 weeks into the season. Honorable mention and applause. Way to go, way to go. Another team last year that significantly underperformed, but has started off in week 2 a positive ranking of just over 500, 4-3 for this week, are the San Diego Padres. They showed promise this week. Will it materialize? I don't know. But going 2-1 against 16th ranked San Francisco, then dropping 2 out of 3 to 8th ranked Colorado, you know what? It could have been worse. It really could have been worse. And going, 4-3 above 500 for the week, that puts you already above 22 other teams in the league. Well done, San Diego. Coming in at number 7, your Chicago White Sox, who reloaded and is my sleeper team to make the playoffs and become a contender. So with the expanded playoff format, definitely possible. This week, having swept the division rival Kansas City, then dropping 2 out of 3 to Cleveland, gives them a 4-2 record for the week, gives them a much stronger platform to stand on than the rest of the league, hence number 7. Coming in number 6, your Colorado Rockies. Going 4-1 this week, taking out Oakland, all the way down here. Then taking 2 out of 3 from San Diego. They're trying to make a mark for themselves. Keep an eye out, everybody. I see potential. We'll see if it ever materializes. But in the meantime, last year your NL East Division champions, Braves, were 1 last week. They dropped to 5 because fundamentally these 4 teams had a better week. However, given that, you're still above 25 other teams. You still had a good week, going 5-2, splitting 4 games against Tampa, and then sweeping the Mets. You're still in an excellent position to win your division. You're still 5th in the entire league, and you're still, in my opinion, division's yours to lose. It really is. Coming in number 4, your Chicago Cubs. Try to make the case for the division this year, going 5-1 this week, sweeping the 24th ranked Pittsburgh Pirates, sweeping the 19th ranked Cincinnati Reds, and this is based upon last week's rank. Okay, it is. The Cincinnati was ranked 19 last week. Pittsburgh was ranked 24 last week. They took out both wins of the series, and they're making a case for the division. Coming in at number 3, I'm waiting for your reaction to this. I'm going to love this, okay? All you fans of the Minnesota Twins and all your comments about how strong their lineup is, how they've been killing teams, I salute them for a strong performance, taking 3 out of 4 from Cleveland and sweeping 2 from St. Louis. Absolutely wonderful performance. They're definitely a top-ranked team. However, there are 2 teams that did slightly better. Also coming in with 5 wins and 1 loss for this past week, but with a better run differential, are your Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? You both did phenomenal this week, but due to run differential tiebreakers, the Dodgers have edged you. Yes, you can go ahead and look up the run differential for the season. This only counts Monday through Sunday games. I had to calculate that the weekend out of this because this started a new week. And the Dodgers edged the Twins on run differential. They're both powerhouses. They're both top contenders, and they're both League Championship Series contenders, if not World Series contenders. However, for this week, unfortunately, the Dodgers did technically edge the Twins in run differential. Thus, they get to be number 2. Who comes in number 1 and who had the absolute best week in Major League Baseball this week, going completely undefeated this week, sweeping 2 from their division rival Baltimore down here, and then sweeping the weekend series in the Bronx against the Boston Red Sox, are your New York Yankees. Go ahead. I hear all the boos. It's all good. And for those of you who are Yankee fans, congratulations. It's awesome. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very difficult thing to sweep an entire week. I think only 2 teams did it last year, the entire 162-week game season. It's very difficult, and for that, they deserve an honorable mention. They had the best week in all of baseball, and so you gotta give them props. Yes, the Twins and the Dodgers may have had better run differential, but they also lost a game. Okay? The Dodgers lost a game to Arizona this week. The Twins lost a game to Cleveland this week. The Yankees didn't lose any. Yeah, I get it. Dodgers and Twins played more games, but the Yankees didn't lose any of theirs. Go ahead. Let's hear your argument in the comment section below. I want to hear all about it. Tell me if you agree with these rankings, if you disagree, and why. I would love to have that banter with you, that debate. That's what makes baseball and the whole game extremely fun. Not only watching it, but also defending your positions as to where you think your team rightfully belongs. So, with all that, if you just happen to be coming across our channel via YouTube, please like and subscribe. It greatly helps us out. If you like or dislike where your team ranks, please leave in the comment section below. And until next week, thank you for watching. It's been great sharing this time with you. Have a great day.